Kathy, and I had gastric bypass performed by Dr. Monash approximately 2.5 years ago.
Hi, I'm Joel. I had gastric bypass 2.5 years ago by Dr. Monash.
And we're married. We've been married 39 years, and it was the best thing we ever did for each other. I had gastric bypass because it was recommended by my heart doctor. I was very, very heavy, and I'd already had
so the trick here
open heart surgery.
Let's say you want to get one of your customers to do a testimonial. The hardest part you're going to experience is not filming it, it's not arranging it, not getting the concept, but getting the person to relax.
I had
one little dirty
gastric
trick.
bypass surgery.
On most of these cameras that have a little red light, there's also a way to shut that light off so they don't even know that the camera's rolling. These people have no idea that the camera was actually rolling.
Bypass surgery.
They never knew that was filming.
To help my
and then when they see it in the review,
ankles and
right afterwards, they go, wow, that was me. And because they didn't think that the camera was rolling, they were more relaxed.
So this helped.
So they thought they were just practicing.
Were you asking them questions?
Yes, I prompted them with a question.
He decided to have it. He let me go first, and 3 months later he decided he wanted to do it too because he'd seen what I had accomplished.
So this is obviously testimonials for the doctor.
Walk farther without pain in my knees and
speak highly of it.
It's the biggest,
where's the before pictures?
best improvement. And walk longer.
So on some of them, we'd actually rely on them to bring us some pictures. So some did and some didn't. Let's see if we can find one
which I couldn't do before. I would get out of breath and I couldn't breathe, but now I.
One thing I've seen as a problem is that if you script it, then they sounds
too stiff.
It sounds too stiff. But then if you let them ad lib, there's too many pauses and uhs and thinking.
That's where my job comes in as editor. And you'll see here, this was actually the very first one we did. And
hi, I'm Roxana Guerrero, and I had the lap band. I had it done on June 17, 2009. I had the surgery done because
did you notice that
I realized that I was
that was where she was stumbling over herself, so I got rid of that.
To not being able to keep up with my kids, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack soon, and that's why I had it done. Now that I have it, it's so great. I can chase my kids around and play sports on the weekends, or I don't know, just
if
run.
You ever want to do
the feeling of running that I've never experienced before is so wonderful.
Questions. I typically like to take people and put them on a green screen.
I can wear pretty clothes and dance and high heels, and
because that way it gives the freedom that we can put anything behind the individual or the talent.
I guess I can just be free
to make a point.
It's so great. I like
and the visual makes a bigger
will
point.
Do it again.
She could talk forever, but we just saw that before and
after. I've lost 140 pounds in a year, and I'm planning on keeping it off forever. When I met Dr. Monash, he made me feel so secure about going through the surgery with him. He told me it was the best option for me because I was so young. I'm early 30.
Again, I brand this thing throughout.
His team was great. They give me all the time to make all my questions and my doubts. We went through a seminar with him, and I said we because my husband went with me.
So that people wouldn't get bored.
It was so full of knowledge
and we'll watch the whole video. But
it was everything.
I brand in between.
This is how I look.
His logo come out from behind her or in front.
June 2009. 140 pounds more than now. I would recommend this surgery to everybody who's struggling with the weight and who's willing to make a big change and commitment. Call and make your decision.
Those cuts are just
do the commitment. It's really worth it. It's a life-changing procedure.
She's trying to say something.
You will feel so much healthier. So you will breathe better. Your body feels so light, and
so that
you feel alive. You feel like you can live for more years, and it doesn't matter what's going to happen. You're going to be there to see your grandkids and everything. Love it. This is the reason why I decided to get the lamp and
afterthought.
so I can be old and see my kids grow up.
It makes a point.
Some people relate to
It's
that.
very relaxed and natural.
Do you want to see, do you have more presentation, you want to go to questions?
Yeah, we can go to questions. Yeah, I just wanted to throw up some, not throw up. I just wanted to present some different variations of things. Here, one more, just as a quickie. You guys are probably all familiar with this little organization, but this was a commercial I put together for the OK Corral.
It's morning, and this plot of ground is soon to be the site of death's indifference to life's claim on flowering youth and life. This tale we tell in varied forms, the history will amend, as victors write of how they fought and of the battle's end.
The thing that's really
but the devil in the details brings a
if you listen to the soundtrack, it'll start getting your heart pumping.
A maiden to her lover sings, and if her song be true, then who's the hand that reaches up from in the earth to grasp and tear away Pandora's lock from love's too near past?
This actually is running in some of the movie theaters down in Sierra Vista and so on, as a commercial for.
So this is a movie? A preview of the movie?
This is a preview for the OK Corral and Tombstone to go see the show.
Oh, okay. I'll go see the live show.
Yeah. So, like the last segment looked pretty familiar there at the very
it's
end.
Morning,
with the guys
and this
walking.
plot of ground is soon to be the site of death's
That's a pretty
indifference
fancy
to
editing.
life's
I don't know if I'm
claim
going to be able to do that.
on flowering.
Yeah, and I mean this is where we get into some pretty high-end stuff. Like this was a lot of rotoscoping. These guys were walking in front of a tree, and I had to literally, video-wise, cut them out of the picture, a motion picture, which took that little 2-second segment took a week to do. So you know. There are things that can get very expensive very quickly, and that's special effects, and I do a lot of that stuff as well. Of course, those are extremely powerful tools that we use, but it takes time, and you know, so there are things that can get very expensive very quickly. People say, I want my logo to fly around. Well, okay, we can do that, but when they hear the price and that might cost 4 times what the whole production would cost, they quickly go, I think it's okay if it just sits there. So, but questions? Anybody? Yes?
The software you told us about, movie review.
Uh-huh.
And that's editing software, so it can edit.
It's kind of an editor. I would call it a layman's tool to put things together, whether you're doing a slideshow or if you have some video clips, it takes it'll mix and match. You can add soundtracks to it. You know, it's a fun tool to work with, and like you saw, I've actually, you know, finished off stuff that I put online and said, hey, you know, good enough. And always keep in mind, I mean, particularly if you get into editing, there comes a point in time where you go nuts and you say, I don't know, is this good enough? And then you start cutting and cutting and cutting and doing and doing.
You can see the line.
Yes. Keep in your mind when is good enough? Okay, not saying, oh, just do cheap garbage stuff, but don't overdo it either, because you'll get frustrated. And guys like us will come along and we'll tell you, hey, you know, this cut could be done a little bit better if you just add 2 frames. And we actually work on the frame level, which is typically 30 per second, okay? So for us, that's a lifetime.
Where do you put the web marshals? You put them on your website?
Yeah, okay, that's another really cool thing. How many of you are familiar with the whole embedding process, so that I can take a video and plop it into a website? Is everybody familiar with that? One of the most important things. On YouTube, if you go in, I'm just going to log into my account real quick. Okay, everybody close their eyes as I type in the password. No, I'm just kidding. I can't spell today. Must be the drugs.
You can't, but the computer.
It's the drugs, huh?
Yeah.
I thought that was a secret.
So when you have your YouTube, and I encourage people, make sure you have your own YouTube account so that you have full control over it. You go into Video Mangler, and notice I call it Mangler.
Video Mangler, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the file mangler on your computer. So here's like a bunch of videos, right? And for example, these videos right here are videos that I just put up for the ebook because they're tutorial videos. So if I go to the video, I'm not going to run this, but if you go to the share, there's a couple of ways you can go about this. Obviously, you can just put in the link, which is great if you're going to put it on Twitter or Facebook or, you know. But on your website, what you want to do is you want to use the embed function. And this is pretty cool. This is something that they did really well. Every website may have different widths in their columns or layouts, whatever. So they give you a bunch of pre-sizes, you know, the 560, 640, blah, blah, blah. Or you can just type in your custom. And what that does is it literally makes the embed object the correct size to fit on your page where you want it to. And that's one of the coolest things. Then they have things like use old embed code. Really not that much necessary anymore. It used to be when the you know, all the browsers have pretty much caught up now. They can handle the new iframe stuff. But, you know, people that use older browsers, you had to use the old embed code because the browser just didn't know what to do with it otherwise. So,
Can I ask a quick question?
Uh-huh.
For those little sizes, when you put it into the website and someone clicks on the video, does it still give them the option then to enlarge it to make it a full screen, or
absolutely, absolutely. In the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
And I'll show you an example of exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a little up there, right there.
So it doesn't matter what size you use, you still have that option?
Yes.
It doesn't keep it in that size? Oh.
I'm plugging myself here. This is my
Stock Media Artist issue?
ebook website, yeah. Come on. So, like for example, I have these tutorials that go along with the ebook, and it'll take a couple seconds to load. Because we probably don't have a fastest connection here.
So while you're waiting, can you answer a question? Those 5 boxes that I saw for, is there a best size to pick?
No, really, it depends on your website. You can go larger too. They just give those as examples. So what you want to do is let's say you want to embed it on your website. I'm going to show you that right now because this was a crucial thing. I actually just changed this morning again, so it's actually out of scale and I need to rescale it. But for example, this video is a certain size right now, and I could actually go wider, right?
To match up with the...
To match the website a little bit better. And then, of course, the person always has the option by clicking on here to go full screen. All right. That's always going to be the case. There are some instances where you also, depending on the nature of the video that you're doing, let's say it's just testimonials or a tutorial that you're talking about one of your products, whatever have you. You know, YouTube will let you, once you get accepted, you can monetize your videos, which means basically ads will show up on the bottom of the video, or people watch at the beginning a full-sized ad for a couple of seconds. And that can be cool as long as it's not your competitor. So, but there are ways to make some money off of YouTube and by embedding. Because obviously the more viral or the more embedded it is, the better your chances are of getting views. And that's what you kind of want. I mean, if you produce good stuff, there are people that literally go out and just hunt down videos to embed on their site to show cool new stuff or a cool new service. And that's what you want. You want to give people the okay to embed without your approval, depending on the business, of course.
Is there anybody that would like to describe what they would want to achieve with a video, and ask for Andy's advice on how to get started? Because I don't think many of us are going to right away do as sophisticated of a video as he does.
I like the storyboard idea to at least get thoughts out. I mean, it kind of moves you into a creative process, but not to answer that, but that's great.
It really helps, yeah.
Well, one of the things I would want to achieve with the video is that when they go to your website, you know, they're reading all the boring stuff, as you say, but what a video allows is for them to connect to you as a person. They see you speaking, they hear your tone of voice, they sort of get a sense of who you are and your personality through the video that they're not going to get just from your content. So it's about personalizing and engaging with your customer, despite, you want the content to be good too, but part of that is just the connection.
You know, and the problem with textual content is you cannot really bring emotion forward to make the person understand, you know, what is the emotion that they should have when they're reading the ABC. And this is the biggest problem with email. And even messaging and texting. People, they end up getting into fights over something that was silly because the person was trying to be funny, but of course, you know, that funny thing didn't go through the electron panel there, you know, and so all kinds of crazy things would happen. So, yes.
I think right away we could take photos that we already have of our product and our employees maybe of the store, add more so there's a big collection, and do what you did with the still photos, music, and a voice.
You know what else I think would be great for your store is to get some of your big buyers. Like, I didn't know my sister shops at your store all the time.
I didn't either.
And I know. Listen, I don't know much about what she does. She's everywhere. But and have them, especially because with your world, there's so much that can be done with just the beads. That's a great selling tool. Like, I could see someone like my sister saying, "Oh, I went and got, you know, all these rhinestones, and this is the beautiful piece of jewelry I made from it." I could see testimonials working really well.
And we've tried that. The problem is we don't have the equipment. We'll catch them on that iPhone camera, and the voiceover's not too good.
So if you were a beginner.
The funny thing about that, just like the iPad, the iPhone, the Flip, all these little. There are actual gear, there's gear you can order to mount those and use them as a qualified camera.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have.
iPhone, the new one, full resolution, it's awesome.
Really?
There's guys shooting stock footage that they sell for $200, $300 a pop.
On their iPhone.
Off their iPhone.
So I should find out or get a little gizmo to sit it on.
I mean, just like a
little tripod.
Yeah. What about the
they
sound?
have little desktop tripods, you know, wheelie arms.
I think Susan found that the sound wasn't very good with her.
You can mic up an iPhone, can't you?
You can.
Any mic with your iPhone. Quarter-inch.
Yeah. You can mic up the iPhone or get a nice digital recorder on the side and do it so that you have both.
So do you have a reasonably affordable camera that you suggest, other than an iPhone?
Well,
if you were to suggest that.
The camera prices have been coming down so tremendously. Like these little guys here, you know, you can get them for less than $700 today. And that's a high quality
This one
camera.
you can get for like $300 or $400.
Yeah, and they're full HD. But keep in mind,
HD camera?
don't use the built-in microphone.
Yeah, I was just going to say, two of the little digital HD cameras. And because one is, the flip phone of course is simpler, and then we've got one that's got more options to it. But yeah, I've got a little tripod that we use with it. Oh, like you said, the only thing is the sound. It's, I don't know what you want to use it for, but yeah, the sound's not that high.
Yeah, I mean, that sound, I can't emphasize enough. It is important, regardless of the camera you get. If you get a less expensive camera, let's say this is what, $300-400, you can get a digital recorder for $200 to $300 and get ultimate sound quality.
A digital recorder. And I have a digital
sound
recorder that people can use.
Yeah.
It's what I used to use. The sound is incredible on it. In fact, Annie's the one that told me to buy that.
Maybe we should start using it again.
Yeah.
What kind is it?
Now what I do...
It's a professional
Go ahead,
grade
question.
recorder. I don't know
You
where
mentioned iPhones, but Android also, that video on there?
Android is cool. It's getting there. Obviously, oh, here it is. The smartphone. We're in the smart group, so we all have smartphones, right?
Right. I've done that.
You'll love this. This thing can shoot a panorama, right? And it tells me how to align the camera and all that. And I was up in the Catalinas and I shot this nice panorama with, you know, clouds and all this. And it's selling as fine art. So they're very powerful. The cameras in here are very,
You have an app? You have an app on it, I guess.
Actually, it comes with it.
That's an Android?
This is an Android.
Yeah.
This is a Galaxy.
Oh.
A Samsung Galaxy. It's got an HD camera, video camera. It's got the standard still photo camera.
I do.
And then I even have a free app that I downloaded that does time-lapse. And time-lapse is when you want to do speed-up things. It's called lapse it. So, I mean, yeah, these are great, you know, especially when you're, like for me, if I see something really cool, I want to film it real quick. If it's good footage, even from this quality, it'll sell.
But how does it compare to the iPhone? Same? Or?
Probably, or even better. I mean, the guts, you got to understand, the guts all come from the same place. Whether it's iPhone or this, it's from the same factory. You just put a different box around it and a different processor, that's it.
Okay, we have our choice. We can keep going with some questions, or we can do what we did last week, which was when people had needed help on their computers. Does anybody want help with implementing any of this on your computer?
Yeah,
your laptop?
Can you show me how to use mine?
Well, no, you're supposed to show us. That's why you're the expert. Yeah. And I know Mike does a lot of videos, and so Mike can help too. Sharif, do you do many videos? No.
She's like, no.
No.
No. Nope.
No. I want to point out
He embeds them on websites, though.
One more thing. I'm just going to go towards the end of this one. Hopefully that'll work. This is these are tutorials, but there's something.
Do on one. One is also up here. Now all these files are queued. Now,
but this is for somebody that wants to be professional, do this professionally.
Yeah, and by the way, some of these tutorials are online, so if you actually want to learn about some of the software, you can watch them. They don't cost anything. But the key thing I wanted to show is, a little further. There we go. The branding part. Okay? And you'll notice that I do a couple of things. Notice this big code right here? One of the best branding mechanisms there is. It's becoming more and more popular. At the trade shows, everybody in their booth had QR codes on every product. And all you had to do was go up with your smartphone, take a picture, and it would take you right to that product's sheet.
Bye, Andy. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Naomi.
Peace out.
So I put the QR code at the end of all my videos because what that QR code does, you can embed an entire address, phone number, everything into it. And it's all free. You just search QR code on Google, and there's a free generator. It'll create the images for you, plop them into your video. People watching, even on the monitor, they can just take their smartphone, go up to it, snapshot it, and it'll take them right to their website. Very cool stuff. It's the new way, right? Hey, I fought these things for years. I never thought I'd buy an iPad either.
Does anybody need help on their laptop with any of this? Want individual help?
I need help, but not on my laptop.
Yes. I have a,
okay. Go ahead.
I have an external microphone that I bought. Because I was doing a couple of YouTube videos from my laptop.
Okay.
And the sound sucked. So I plugged it in, and somehow I'm not quite sure if it ever even connected properly, because every time I recorded after that, it sounded exactly the same. I have a feeling I may not have.
In your
You have to switch from
laptop,
internal to external.
I thought I did too, but it looked like it switched to it.
That's weird.
It sounded the same.
If you go to your control panel,
Yeah, that's where I've gone
Right.
to switch to it.
and you go to I believe it's under devices and printers.
So that's one of those things I've never gotten past that.
No.
Should get their salary.
Yeah. Where are we? Are we there yet? Sound, there we go.
Sellers? Yeah.
Okay. So for recording, check and see if you have more than one option here.
Okay.
And then if it's the external microphone, make sure that it has the little green check box, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it defaults to the internal microphone.
Okay. And I thought I had done that, so I just need to do it again.
And then you can test
Did
it.
you apply?
See that?
Oh, okay.
So it shows you the volume levels right here.
And if you want to make sure to say pick it and say set to default.
Right.
And then go back and that way it doesn't change on you.
I'll look at it again. Great, thanks.
Yeah,